Hi, do you know this? Or either this? So, the art of Tudung Saji weaving is our subject for this assignment. And we will talk about the element of geometry related to the weaving of Tudung Saji. Also, the ethnomathematics, which means the relationship between mathematics and culture. Tudung Saji is a type of foot cover that is commonly used in Malays. So, in this study, we will focus on the foot covers produced in the Terengganu and Melaka. Throughout the history, the art of weaving is believed to have begun and developed without accepting outside influence. The use of rope, roots, and rattan is the first basis in the creation of weaving handicraft that have been a traditional endeavor for centuries. This weaving art activity has started since time immemorial. This can be seen in the house of ancient society where the walls of their house were woven with bamboo, and the finance of the art of weaving still survive to this day at the rural area lah. And then, houses with nipa walls and roofs are not hot because a thick layer of nipa leaves insulates heat conduction. Well, Tudung Saji, the handicrafts that the Malays are usually produced from pandanus leaves, rattan, or bamboo. Weaving handicrafts of woven leaves, pandanus amarylifolius in scientific name, is among the Malay heritage, which is documented in Terengganu around 1920. Mengkuang weaving is part of the collection of postcards produced by the British Malaya in conjunction with the promotion of the British Empire exhibition at Wembley in 1924 and 1925. What is the usage of the woven Tudung Saji? First, cover dishes from being infested by pests like flies or expose dust and other dirt. Second, as the income of the rural population. Third, as a souvenir and decoration as it is beautiful and it comes from variety, size, and colors. Fourth, it's easy to store food. The bigger the Tudung Saji, more food can be stored. Well, for your information, the height and the width of the woven foot cover trap the air, keep the condition of the foot, and makes the foot last long. Foot are last long when they are covered by woven one rather than the modern, which is likely plastic. The rattan, which is identically a circumference shaped round for the Tudung Saji, makes it cover all the foot nicely. So the specific size for this assignment are with 66.4 cm, height with 46 cm, radius with 33.2 cm, and circumference with 28.6. So this is our woven foot cover or Tudung Saji for our assignment.
The geometric characteristic is about the relative point of view and the properties of the object from some viewing angle. The relative point of view and the object result in pose variation. The angle of view become a key factor in determining how the 2D or 3D appearance are produced. Then, the characteristic of the appearance can be studied by geometrical concept. For example, when we observe a dice vertically from top view, the shape depicted as a shape of a square, while when we observe the same dice at a lower view, the shape is a hexagon. Okay, back to our main object. The geometric shape that can be obtained from this object divide into two main categories, which are 2D shape and 3D shape. First shape is circle. This shape can be obtained by viewing the object vertically from the top or bottom. The second one is a triangle shape. As you can see, there are several triangular shapes obtained by observing the weaving pattern of the object body. Next, we have a parallelogram. The parallelogram shape are the common weaving pattern that can be found on the object body. Therefore, this shape became the basis pattern that result in the formation of the other shape. Observing the weaving pattern on the object body from the top, we can obtain a pentagon shape, hexagon shape. This shape is obtained by observing the weaving pattern on the object body. To be exact, this shape formed by a combination of three parallelogram patterns. Lastly, the one and only 3D shape that can be obtained is a cone. The shape is obtained by the overall view of the object. Simply said, the object has been woven into the shape of a cone. After obtaining this shape, the characteristic of each of the shape can be studied by using the geometrical concept of each shape. The first one is circle shape. A circle is the set of all points in a plane that are at a fixed distance from a given point known as the center of the circle. By referring to the size of the object, the diameter of the circle is equal to the object width, which is 66.4 cm. Radius of a circle is a segment that joins the center point to another point on the circle, which is half the length of the diameter. Then the radius is 33.2 cm. The circumference of a circle is the perimeter of the circle and can be determined by the formula C equal to 2 pi r. Hence, the circumference of the circle is 208.6 cm. The area of the circle can be determined by the formula pi r square. The area of the circle is 3,462.79 cm square. Next, the triangle. A triangle is a polygon with 3 edges and 3 vertices. By the properties of a triangle, the sum of all interior angles of a triangle is always equal to 180. Triangle can be classified by its congruent side or by its congruent angles. This triangle here consists of 3 congruent sides and 3 congruent angles. Therefore, it is classified as an equilateral and equiangular triangle. The base and the height length of the triangle are 8.45 cm and 7.3 cm respectively. Then, the area of the triangle can be determined by the formula area equals to half of the product of base times height. The area of the triangle is 30.84 cm square. Next, for the parallelogram. A parallelogram is a special type of quadrilateral that has equal and parallel opposite sides. By the properties of a parallelogram, AB is congruent to CD, while BC is congruent to AD. The diagonals AC and BD is bisected. The opposite interior angle of a parallelogram are congruent. Therefore, theta 1 are congruent to theta 3, while theta 2 congruent to theta 4. By measurement, the length of the base and height of the parallelogram are 1.30 cm and 0.45 cm respectively. Therefore, the area of the parallelogram can be determined by the formula area equals to base times height. Pentagon is a polygon that has 5 edges and 5 vertices. By the properties of a pentagon, the number of sides denoted as n of this pentagon equals to 5. The sum of interior angle of the pentagon can be determined by the formula 180 degrees times n minus 2. Pentagon can be classified into 2 categories, regular and irregular pentagon. This pentagon is classified as a regular pentagon since all of its sides has an equal measurement. By the properties of a regular pentagon, it has an equal measurement of central angle, which can be determined by the formula 360 degrees divided by n. The interior angles of a regular pentagon also congruent, which can be obtained by the formula sum of interior angle divides by n. The length of each side is 8.45 cm. Then the area of this regular pentagon can be calculated by this formula. Hence, the area of the pentagon is 112.85 cm square. Next, the hexagon. A hexagon can be defined as a polygon with 6 sides and 6 vertices. As you can see, by the properties of a hexagon, the number of sides of this hexagon is 6. The sum of interior angle can be determined by the formula 180 degrees times n minus 2. Hexagon can be classified into 2 categories, regular and irregular hexagon. This hexagon is classified as a regular hexagon since it has equal sides. By the properties of a regular hexagon, it also has equal central angles. The central angle can be obtained by the formula 360 degrees divided by n, the number of sides. The interior angles of a regular hexagon are congruent to each other, which can be determined by this formula. Sum of the interior angles divided by the number of sides, n. The length of each side is 1.30 cm. Then the area of this regular hexagon can be calculated by this formula. The area of this hexagon is 4.39 cm square. Last but not least, the cone. A cone is a 3-dimensional geometric shape that tapers smoothly from a flat base to a point called the vertex or a apex. A cone is formed by a set of line segments that connecting a point called vertex to all of the points on a base that are in a plane that does not contain the apex. By measurement, the radius of the circular base is 33.2 cm. The height and slant length are 46 cm and 56.73 cm respectively. Using this information, the surface area of the cone can be determined by the formula surface area equal to pi times radius plus slant length. Meanwhile, the volume of the cone can be obtained by using the cone volume formula 1/3 times base area times height.
Woven foot cover is an artistic material that is useful in daily life. Motif and pattern on the foot cover are depending on the people's creativity. The shape is repeatedly transformed into a creative design on the foot cover. There are 4 types of transformation: rotation, translation, reflection, and enlargement. Rotation is turning an object with a fixed point. Translation is moving the object with a fixed direction. Reflection is inverting an object on a certain axis. And these 3 transformations results a congruent polygon. While for the enlargement, the object undergoes change in size but not in shape. So the object and the image are similar but not congruent. One of the motifs created by transformation that we found on the foot cover is hexagon. A parallelogram undergoes rotation at each point about 60 degrees clockwise and created hexagons. Hexagon reflected on each side as the axis and created pentagon, as we can see from the upside of the foot cover. This repeating transformation also creates a pattern that looks like a honeycomb. This triangle undergoes reflection on an axis that is parallel to the other side of the point. When reflection occurs so many times, it creates pentagon on the upside of the foot cover. As we can observe, the shape that occurs on the foot cover is pentagon, while 2D is a hexagon. This happens due to the different plane, which is the foot cover is a cone. We can also observe the shape of rhombus. The hexagon is transformed by translation. It moves to right and also downward. This repeating transformation creates triangle, hexagon, hexagram, also lines along the foot cover. The triangle undergoes enlargement with the top point as the center of enlargement by scale that is more than 1. As this transformation repeating, we can observe a few sizes of triangle inside the foot cover.
The art of weaving has become part of the culture in among nations people. In order to produce a various type of items used in architecture as well as in furniture and home decorations, textile production methods such as weaving has been used. This study touched on weaving art handicraft, namely woven foot cover. In terms of our research, this woven foot cover has been known in our state in Malaysia. It is also known for its uniqueness in among foreign tourists when they see it because of its external shape woven by using woven rattan, bamboo, and rope. This woven foot cover has become synonymous in our society not only because of its use to cover foot but as a home decorations. Woven foot cover was designed based on geometrical shapes that consist of 2 and 3-dimensional shapes. The shapes of this woven foot cover can be seen clearly from its 2-dimensional sides, which is circle, triangle, parallelogram, pentagon, and also hexagon. Although the production of the woven foot cover was used to be in a rural areas only, but the touches they produce also include the aspect of motifs and pattern. Various combination of shapes include in production of this woven foot cover that will produce the concept of motif and patterns. The combination of transformation for the entire study of woven foot cover includes rotation, reflection, translation, and also enlargement. To sum up the main points, a touch of geometry chefs can produce the woven food cover through the creativity of the individual's production in touching the concept of motifs and patterns. The usage of several applications in geometry, such as calculation of each shape and shape transformation, can create more organized, beautiful and unique woven food cover. Hence, it's clear that the relationship between geometry shapes with our daily life on producing woven food cover is related by the combining these shapes. The culture of producing a variety of handicrafts that have the touch on the application of geometry in our culture should be appreciated and maintained to prevent it from being lost as time flies.